Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Dry skies tonight, but just around the corner, thunderstorms headed back to southern Michigan. Will any of these be severe?
All right, Ben, also a new string of threats against Jewish community centers across the country, one of them right here in Metro Detroit.
But first, police raid this Inkster motel and put a padlock on the place. Thanks for being with us for the news at 5. Inkster police say the Michigan motel on Michigan Avenue has a hotbed of crime for years.
And today, with the help of Michigan State Police, they shut the place down. Steve Garagiola was there as it happened. And Steve, I guess the folks living there nearby are pretty thrilled with that.
Boy, that is the truth. You know, the Inkster police chief said this place has been trouble for so long. They invest so much resource, time, and energy in responding to calls there. They just had to do something about it. It has consistently been a trouble spot for years, but it won't be anymore. Inkster police padlocked the doors at the Michigan motel. Today's closure about building and fire code violations. 25 rooms, all had long-term residents.
There's a mom, there's grandmom, there's kids inside of this place, and they're just trying to get by.
I'm not going to have anywhere to go tonight. I'm trying to work that out, but I will deal with that.
We're trying to do everything we can to help those folks find somewhere else to go. We've been in contact with other motels and other agencies and trying to give these folks some help as far as moving to a different location that's safe and clean for them.
There is more than fire safety behind the motivation for this raid. The Michigan motel and liquor store next to it have a long history of crime. Police found lots of evidence of drug trade at the liquor store this morning.
There's cutting agents, pill presses. There are containers that you actually use to magnetize to the bottom of vehicles so you can transport narcotics.
Nearby residents were thrilled to see the police arrive and shut this place down.
The motel and the store, always trouble. There's even been killings like in the parking lot. So like I said, kudos to the Inkster police.
She was so excited, and her reaction pretty typical of the folks who live around that area. Prostitution, drugs, gun violence. They've been living with it a long time. The state police were part of this as well as the Inkster police, so they have shut this place down, and these neighbors are pretty happy about it. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
Well, Steve, are they giving you any indication of how long that shutdown will last?
Well, the Inkster chief says as far as the motel, this could be a permanent shutdown because they have so many violations and it's been such a trouble spot. As far as that liquor store that is next door, they speculated maybe about a month while they clean up their act, and then they'll see about having them reopen.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Kim?
2 women have been arrested in connection with the death of a 17-year-old student from Garden City High School. The teenage student was walking with a friend near Plymouth and Myers on Friday when 2 people in an SUV pulled up and shot him. The 17-year-old was killed. His friend was unharmed. Now police say they've arrested 2 women in connection with the shooting. No word yet on any charges.
A new string of threats today at Jewish centers across the country.
This morning alone, bomb threats were phoned in to Jewish schools and community centers in 11 states across the Midwest and along the East Coast, and that included here in Michigan, where a bomb threat was called in to the Hebrew Day School in Ann Arbor. These are shots from Sky 4 as police investigated the scene. Priya Mann is working this story for us tonight. And Priya, the all clear has been given, right?
Yeah, Kimberly, it took police about 2 hours to search the building and give the all clear. Now, the Jewish Community Centers Association says 20 facilities were threatened today, and officials in Ann Arbor say many of those buildings have schools and daycares attached.
Can't really take a chance when you have a building with 200 children.
The entire building, including a daycare and Hebrew school at the Jewish Community Center in Ann Arbor, was evacuated after a specific bomb threat.
It was a male caller. The caller indicated that there was a bomb in a backpack and the backpack was about to detonate.
Ann Arbor police got the call around 9:30 Monday morning. Right around the same time, multiple police agencies across the country received similar threats.
And we are now coordinating with the FBI to determine the validity of the threat and the source of the phone call.
Specially trained MSP officers and bomb-sniffing dogs did not find any explosive devices, and police gave the all clear within 2 hours.
It's sad that this is happening. I think it's part of the larger sadness that's happening all across the country to all kinds of groups.
200 children ranging from 3 months to the 5th grade had to be evacuated, and the center remains on high alert.
Personally, I wish that the President of the United States would speak out a little bit more forcefully. It's time for the administration to really speak out and say we're not going to tolerate this anymore.
And the JCC in Ann Arbor says they have evacuations in place and students regularly practice them. Today proves why. Ann Arbor police say they're working with the FBI to identify who that caller was. Reporting live, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Priya, I'm curious, has anything like this ever happened at that particular school?
Yeah, parents tell me there was a threat last May, and they tell me this is a very difficult conversation to have with their children. They didn't want to speak with me on camera, but again, this JCC, this Jewish Community Center, now on high alert, as are many across the country.
Yeah, you're right indeed. Okay, Priya, thanks. Devin?
Well, let's get to breaking news we've been following this afternoon. Just a short time ago in federal court here in Detroit, TAKATA pleaded guilty to criminal fraud. So company officials now admit they tried to cover up a deadly defect in their airbag inflators, and that's going to cost them $1 billion. Rod Maloney was in the courtroom and joins us now live. But Rod, this hasn't exactly turned out to be cut and dry, has it?
Yeah, there's so much here, Devin, and we'll just cut to it and tell you that it was wire fraud that they actually pled guilty for. Yoichiro Nomura, the chief financial officer of the company that is responsible for 16 deaths overall, 11 here in the United States, 180 injuries with these airbags, said in court, I would like to sincerely apologize on behalf of TAKATA. The conduct of some of the employees was deeply inappropriate, and he wants to take steps to make sure that none of this conduct is repeated in the future. Now, to make that $25 million fine, the criminal fine, off the top for this, but it's a $975 million restitution that is being ordered as part of the sentencing here. And so we're going to show you that up on the screen here now. The judge also ordered 3 years of probation plus an independent monitor to watch over how the company changes how it does business, and also a corporate compliance program. And what that is all meant to do is to see to it that the company gets together, make sure that it can fix the airbags and the problem, make new airbags that are going to be safe, because only 16% of the airbags of about a 66 million airbag population is actually still out there. And so $125 million for the people who were injured and killed is also there for people who may be injured or killed in the future. So much here, so much to talk about, but for now, we'll send it back to you.
And Rod, the judge had some things to say as he was delivering the sentence.
He did, as a matter of fact, Devin. And one of the things that he said was, why is it should we even care about TAKATA? Because he was on a seat bag price fixing, make that a seat belt price fixing problem with TAKATA previously. So he knew that this company could not survive financially any of this situation. So he said, why should I care? Well, it turns out that in the process of trying to get the airbags repaired that are out there, and also keep the company afloat, and to make sure that the OEMs, the car makers, to be able to stay afloat, they have to keep this company solvent. So as much as it bothered him to do so, he said it's the only right answer.
Yeah, fascinating. All right, Rod. Well, after snapping back to winter over the weekend, another little reprieve of a lovely day today.
Yeah, how about that? But it's not going to last, right, Ben?
No, absolutely not. We've got a very active pattern shaping up here for the next 7 days, and we will go back to looking at the possibility of strong thunderstorms. This is tomorrow. This is the severe risk, which is going to be centered well to our south. But you can see here on the north side, that green shade, that's the marginal risk. And that comes up to our south zone for tomorrow night. So we'll be talking about thunderstorm risk coming up in the forecast. But tonight should see dry skies. Temperatures are going to fall into the 30s. That will be our overnight low right around midnight at 36. And then we'll see these numbers come up towards dawn. Quite a bit of rain in the next 24 hours to discuss as well. And we are not snow free. We will discuss the possibility of accumulating snow also in the forecast, all coming up in a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben. A man escapes after a chase today with Michigan State troopers.
Troopers say he did it by jumping off a bridge on I-75. According to MSP, the man dumped the van he was driving and jumped off the bridge on northbound I-75 over eastbound I-94. Police, though, quickly set up a perimeter to search for him. They believed he might have been in the area injured from his jump, but there were no signs of him. And for now, the search continues. How about that? Well, the search is on for a suspect, meanwhile, who police believe shot 2 men on Detroit's east side. Police say an 18-year-old and a 24-year-old were sitting inside a silver Nissan Altima on St. Antoine Street when an unknown man pulled up in a black Dodge Ram and fired several shots at the men. Both men in the Altima were wounded, but now in stable condition, and police continue to look for that driver.
The women's group that's been raising funds to pay for testing of rape kits is getting closer to its goal. There were more than 11,000 untested kits when the Enough Said effort began. Well, now the number is down to just over 1,300. It costs $490 to process a kit. Fundraising ends in April, but the group will continue its work.
We're also going to use our voices to support organizations that are on the ground that are working with sexual assault survivors, because that work will continue to go on forever.
And there are 2 more fundraising efforts coming up, including a bake sale the day before Easter.
A bizarre scheme early this morning involving a retired Detroit police officer.
New tonight, what had the SWAT team rushing in and the DPD bomb squad spending hours looking around his house.
Also, how this SUV crash had hazmat crews scrambling because of one thing that happened after the car went out of control. Coco?
A detective from the Warren Police Department is in the hospital recovering from a gunshot wound. What authorities say happened and how the detective is doing this afternoon.
You must. New at 6.
An Ann Arbor father of 4 is facing deportation, but support in his community is growing. Why prominent public officials are speaking out, hoping immigration officials allow the man to stay.
All right, Priya, plus warning signs. A fire erupts in a vacant home on Detroit's west side. It almost spreads to an unoccupied home, putting an 82-year-old in danger. Well, now his family is saying this could have been prevented. We'll have the reason coming up at 6.
A Warren police detective and 20-year veteran of the force is recovering tonight after shooting himself in the leg.
It happened during firearms training at the gun range inside police headquarters near Van Dyke. Let's get to Coco McAvoy live. And Coco, any update on the detective's condition tonight?
Kimberly and Devin, at last check, the detective was undergoing surgery. He suffered a vascular injury, and this all after a freak accident during firearms training.
Luckily, our officers were there, and it happened in a controlled environment, and they knew exactly what to do.
This after Deputy Police Commissioner Matt Nichols says a routine firearms training took an unexpected turn at police headquarters this morning.
When one of the officers apparently was holstering his gun, there was an accidental discharge striking him in the leg.
The detective who accidentally shot himself is a veteran of the department.
Oh, he's a top-notch guy. You know, he's a squared-away guy. He's one of our go-to guys, and you know, one of the most friendly guys in the departments.
Nichols says he can't recall an incident like this ever happening during firearms training before.
We've got a great safety record. I was the range master in the training division for a while too, so safety is always paramount for us.
As the detective recovers from his injuries, authorities are investigating the shooting that they believe was simply a training accident.
We're still trying to determine exactly where the breakdown was and what actually happened, so we can make some improvements moving forward.
And part of their investigation includes interviewing those firearms instructors to try to put together the pieces and figure out exactly how that firearm discharged this morning. Reporting live this afternoon, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4, back to you.
Hey, Coco, do you know the setup of this training at all?
Yes, Kimberly. So the training, it takes place in the basement of the police headquarters. And what they told me is that there are about 5 officers at the time of the training, and each officer has a firearms instructor, and they do that for safety purposes to make sure that everyone is being careful and can be watched. So they have no idea how this happened this morning, and they're going to try to figure out how it did.
Yeah, the investigation continues. Okay, Coco, thank you. Well, the National Weather Service confirms a tornado touchdown in Pennsylvania over the weekend.
Weather officials said the tornado touched down around 2:30 Saturday afternoon in Pittston Township. That's about 11 miles south of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Tornado-packed winds of up to 120 miles an hour went on a 13-mile path, damaging 30 homes, brought down more than 1,000 trees across 2 counties. Fortunately, no injuries or deaths reported. But as we bring in Ben, reminiscent of our worries the other day that you had for us on Friday, that Pennsylvania too, not used to that kind of weather in February.
No, I mean, we get towards Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras. We start seeing that stuff down south, but usually it's not up here. As far. we've got another threat as we get into tomorrow night that we'll be talking about shortly. But just clouds out there right now. If we see a sprinkle this evening, so be it. But most of us are going to stay dry. Temperatures, even though they're cooler than what we saw for the majority of last week, are still running at about 10 degrees above average. We're at 49 right now. Winds are out of the south at 14 miles an hour. Pressure is actually pretty high, 30-19, and there's not a lot to look at in our side of the state. Showers starting to roll up here towards Traverse City and heading towards Gaylord, but generally we are going to be dry tonight, and then we'll start turning our attention to the southwest as we get into the early parts of tomorrow for our first chance of seeing some showers. This is during the morning commute. Could be a couple rumbles in here. This is not going to be the rough stuff, though. That's going to leave pretty quickly by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Then as we get into Tuesday night, in the evening, we could see a couple stray thunderstorms here as we get just past sunrise. But this is going to be the bigger event, and it looks like it's coming through closer to midnight, maybe even early Wednesday morning, as a line of thunderstorms comes through. Could have some gusty winds associated with it. As we told you at the top of the show, the southern zone, our south zone, is under that marginal risk for severe weather, and you can see sort of the tail end of that blows up again by 6 a.m. Everything should be out of here by Wednesday morning's commute, and then look at this. Snowfall shows up on Wednesday in the afternoon and evening, even though we're going to miss out on the larger accumulation that they're going to see up here to the north. In fact, that's over 6 inches of snow between Alpena and Saginaw. Our north and west zones could be seeing an inch plus on the ground as we wake up early on Thursday morning. So a lot to discuss here. 36 will be our low tonight. Again, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures still milder than average. In fact, that's closer to our actual average high for this time of year. We will make it up to 58 tomorrow. See those showers early in the morning and then most of the day dry, and then we'll start watching for the potential for those stronger storms that'll roll in here as we get into tomorrow night. Our 4-zone forecast is looking at tomorrow's highs, and these are going to be in the upper 50s, close to 60 degrees. May even see some low 60s down here in our south zone too before those thunderstorms start to arrive. And depending on the speed of those storms, we may actually overachieve. In some spots could be into the low 60s, but generally mid to upper 50s here in our west zone, and mid-50s for the most part north of M59 in our north zone. So beyond that snow, not a whole lot to discuss. Dry conditions Thursday and Friday as we cool down a little bit. Temperatures spike again Saturday and Sunday with just a early snow shower on Saturday before we head to 50 in the afternoon. So that one's not going to last long, but there could be snow on the ground as we head towards the middle of this week.
Just wild and crazy.
It's been strange. March going to come in cooler than February goes out, though. Or February's been the whole month almost.
Coming in and probably going out like a lion.
Of course.
Yeah. All right, Ben, thank you. It is the most deadly mental illness, and it's probably not what you think. Ahead in good health, a survivor shares her story of hope and how to get help.
But first, community leaders calling for a hate crimes investigation. What happened inside this historic cemetery that has led to outrage in Pennsylvania? Kevin.
It's one of the hardest jobs in America, and it's getting tougher every year.
When you get that public viewpoint of, people saying, kill policemen and target them.
Applications to become a police officer are way down, but one local deputy feels it's his duty to encourage more people to join the force.
He's everything that a good police officer is.
Starting with his own children, the Defenders, tomorrow at 5 on Local 4.
In Philadelphia, police are trying to figure out who vandalized a Jewish cemetery over the weekend.
Around 100 supporters and community members came out to the cemetery last night in a show of solidarity and to denounce the vandalism. Police said nearly 100 tombstones were overturned or damaged Saturday night. So far, no arrests, no leads, really. Investigators say they're still working to figure out what the motive was. People in the community say they believe it was done out of hate.
This is not just a random act, meaning to topple so many headstones clearly is a concerted effort with intent.
To think about the effort and the hatred that went behind this, it's heartbreaking. It just is.
And it is the second Jewish cemetery vandalized in the past week. Back here, a driver is recovering after the SUV they were in rolled over and landed in a creek.
It all happened Friday on Square Lake Road, east of Rochester Road. Emergency workers found the SUV with the engine still running and fuel spilling out. The driver, who was alone, was cut out before firefighters got there. Right now, police are not saying what caused the driver to lose control. And drivers in Michigan can expect to pay more at the pump this week.
Gas prices in the state have ticked up about 4 cents a gallon, according to AAA Michigan. Current statewide average for regular unleaded about $2.30 a gallon. That's about 54 cents higher than this time last year. Lowest average price for regular unleaded can be found right here in Detroit. It's about $2.28 a gallon.
New at 5:30.
Meet the Soul Doctor. We'll show you the special mission this local foot doctor is on that's helping hundreds of people in need.
President Trump rolls out the big picture of his new budget coming up, how he wants to spend your tax dollars.
A stockpile of guns, grenades, and a grenade launcher found inside of that home, a home owned and lived in by a retired Detroit police officer.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
A former Detroit police officer under arrest after allegedly firing an automatic assault rifle in his neighborhood. And that's just the beginning. Police also say he tried to drive drunk.
All this prompted the SWAT team to Detroit's west side for what could have been a standoff near Grand River and the Southfield Freeway. As Nick Monticelli reports, the bomb squad was also called in and was back at the property this afternoon after grenades were found.
It has been a slow and methodical search inside of this home off of Abington because the Detroit Police Department, the bomb squad, the SWAT teams, everyone knew that it could be a dangerous situation, especially because it could have been booby-trapped.
Quite frankly, he must have fired like at least 100 rounds last night.
The Grandmont neighborhood on Detroit's west side is one of the quieter neighborhoods in the city.
If they went in that backyard, they would see all of the shell casings. And now we come to find out that he has grenades in the house.
Except for last night. Around midnight, neighbors say they started hearing shots, but police were not called until 3:30 in the morning. They quickly realized they were dealing with a retired Detroit police officer. Other officers then saw him get into his car, and he tried to take off, but they stopped him immediately. They did a breathalyzer and arrested him for OWI. Police also say there is evidence he was shooting his gun overnight. He will likely be charged with reckless discharge of a firearm. That, though, is not the end of the story. Police started looking through his home, which is a fortress with 10-foot fencing and huge gates.
He has electrical wire around it too, on the outside, so you can't really go close to his property.
Inside, they found more than a dozen guns, including long guns, grenades, and a grenade launcher. The bomb squad was called. It turns out the grenades were never active. The ATF is now helping to determine if the guns and other items, like the grenade launcher, are legal.
An older type launcher is the type that affixed to a rifle to be launched from that projectile. So again, it doesn't appear that will be illegal, again, until we run the serial numbers to see where the origin of these come from.
On Detroit's west side, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
The retired officer has not yet been charged, so we are not yet revealing his name, but we can tell you he's 56 years old, spent 27 years with the Detroit Police after retiring in 2013.
Over here with Ben, and we've got a mixed bag on the way this week, and that could include some storms.
That's first up on the list, and that's going to come tomorrow night. And not only do we have the possibility of seeing some wind damage with these storms, but there's going to be a lot of rain too. So let's look at the rainfall totals we're expecting. We're actually going to start out with Tuesday morning because there will be some showers that are going to come through during the commute tomorrow. This is really not going to amount to much. See, a few 1/100ths of an inch is just about all we're expecting. But then you get into the evening hours, especially overnight, and watch how these totals just balloon up. There will be a lot of spots that pick up more than an inch of rain with these thunderstorms that are going to be rolling through. Again, there's possibility you could see some gusty winds, especially down here in our south zone as we get through the day. That's 8 o'clock on Wednesday. There still will be some showers after that that will add to those totals. But after we get past 4 p.m. on Wednesday, that's when temperatures get cold enough and we start looking at snow, and it may be enough to stick in a couple spots. Not tonight. Mostly cloudy and dry. We'll be close to our lows by 10 o'clock, and we'll talk more about what's to come after the snow coming up.
A man is jailed and expected to soon face federal charges for pointing a laser at a Michigan State Police helicopter, authorities say. The helicopter was doing a routine patrol over Detroit around 8 o'clock Friday evening when a laser was pointed at the chopper. FBI investigators say the suspect confessed during an interview. The incident comes as 2 anti-laser pointing bills will be considered tomorrow in Lansing. If passed, laser pointing will become a felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison.
In Washington today, President Trump revealing priorities for his highly anticipated budget release. He's also prepping his speech for tomorrow's address to Congress. But in the meantime, pressure is mounting on both sides of the aisle for an independent investigation into possible campaign ties to Russia in advance of the election day. Tracy Potts following all of it from Washington tonight. Tracy?
Hi there, Devin. Good afternoon, everyone. President Trump has made it pretty clear his big priorities are securing the border and building up our military. That's reflected in this new budget. $54 billion. That's what President Trump wants to add and cut from the federal budget, starting with better equipment for the military.
Only do one thing, win. We have to win. We have to start winning wars again.
Like the fight against ISIS, the Pentagon presented a new plan today. The Trump budget would boost defense spending 10% and provide more for intelligence and homeland security, the border, paid for by cutting foreign aid, environmental programs, and non-defense programs.
We don't know where the cuts are coming from, but it's hard to see with this magnitude of cuts that, once again, middle-class people, working families are going to be hurt.
Still unknown, will this budget add to the nation's growing debt?
The places he's looking to pay for things are the smallest areas of the budget.
The biggest areas? Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. Those would go untouched. Tomorrow, President Trump pitches his budget to lawmakers. They have to approve it. For now, lawmakers are still weighing whether to order a special prosecutor to investigate Trump ties with Russia.
What I've been told is by many folks is that there's nothing there.
How many people have to say that there's nothing there before you realize there's nothing there?
Russia, your tax dollars, all of it fueling President Trump's upside-down approval rating. Those numbers, 44% approval, 48% disapproval from our latest NBC Wall Street Journal poll. From Washington, I'm Tracy Potts, Local 4.
All right, Tracy, we will have President Trump's address to Congress tomorrow night at 9, live here on Local 4. We'll also stream it live on clickondetroit.com.
A judge today ruled that Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial will be heard by a jury from outside the area where the trial will take place. Cosby was in court when the judge said the state Supreme Court will decide where the jurors will come from. Members of that jury will be sequestered during the trial. The judge denied a defense request to have the trial moved out of suburban Philadelphia because of pre-trial publicity. Cosby is charged with sexually assaulting a woman in his home in 2004. His trial is scheduled to begin in June. Across Michigan this Monday, we're following stories from Chesaning and Petoskey up north.
But let's start with a big issue on the Mackinac Bridge. That's where ice has been causing dangerous conditions for drivers. Bridge opened again this afternoon after it was forced to close this morning because ice was falling from the cables and the towers on the bridge. And that drive across isn't harrowing enough without having ice falling on you. The bridge is back open. Mackinac Bridge Authority says some ice may still fall, though, and that's why visitors should be driving slowly and remain alert when driving across the bridge.
In Chesaning Township, a 70-year-old man is dead after a bulldozer accident. Police say the man was in his shed working on the bulldozer when it shifted gears and then ran over him. At this point, it's unclear how the bulldozer shifted gears. Police are investigating.
And in Petoskey, a number of fire departments who had to fight a massive business fire. Take a look at the scene at ZD Metal Products in Petoskey Saturday night. According to the fire chief there, the fire started in the bed of a truck that was carrying magnesium and quickly spread to the business. Luckily, the building had a firewall installed, and that contained the blaze to just half the building. One person was hurt in the fire, but that person is expected to be okay.
In good health, today marks the start of National Eating Disorders Awareness Week. Few people realize that eating disorders have the highest death rate of any mental illness. So tonight in Good Health, a survivor is sharing her story in hopes of inspiring others to seek help.
My flesh was decaying. Like, I was actively dying.
At 24 years old, Lissa Barnett weighed just 62 pounds. She was starving herself almost to death.
I knew I was about to die. I remember stepping up the one step, and I felt my heart literally like a heart attack.
Her road to recovery was long. 2 treatment facilities, a relapse, and a once rocky marriage. Some days are still a struggle.
I am faced with this constant demon, this constant battle in my head. It's definitely heartbreaking.
Images on social media don't help.
Here's a thigh that quite literally was photoshopped, and it's not their actual thigh. So I feel like we're comparing ourselves to cartoon characters.
Lissa is now 34. She has osteoporosis, she's in menopause, and is infertile. But her story is one of hope. She and her husband adopted a 3-year-old boy, and on the tough days, little Isaiah is her inspiration. Her message about eating disorders: speak up.
I did have people in my life that didn't know how to approach me, and they didn't say anything at all. And that is one of the worst things that you can do. You must say something.
The theme of this year's Eating Disorders Week is it's time to talk about it. If you have concerns about yourself or a loved one, you can find a link for a free screening on the health page of clickondetroit.com. There's also a phone number for a free confidential helpline and other resources.
So hard to understand from the outside, but if it made sense, it wouldn't happen.
Right.
There's no logic.
And it's that conversation. It's interesting to say that she wishes more people would have talked to her.
Well, the mobile carrier wars are heating up again.
New tonight, the huge deal AT&T is now rolling out in hopes of snagging some new customers. Evrod.
He's known as the Soul Doctor.
I really want to help people here in the community.
I'm Evrod Cassimy. Coming up, we'll introduce you to the man who's made it his mission to provide the less fortunate in Detroit with brand new shoes. We'll also tell you how you can help.
All right, Everett, but first, a driver goes flying off the roof of a parking garage. He made a big mistake that almost proved deadly. Next.
A return. New at 6.
A dog neglected and left for dead gets a second chance at life. What happened to Winston and why things are looking up for him? Coco?
The story of an Iraqi toddler living in Michigan without his parents for 3 months touched a lot of people. And now his caretaker is sharing a heartwarming update.
It was amazing. It was really emotional.
That story ahead on Local 4.
That's coming up at 6. First here at 5, in Houston, a teen driver amazed police by walking away from a violent crash. The teen reportedly was on the top story of a parking garage when he hit the gas instead of the brakes and drove off the roof. The car landed upside down on a hardware store. The teen somehow managed to escape the car and walk into the store. Had to be taken to the hospital for treatment, but it's expected that he will be okay.
I've done that. Not on a parking garage. Don't worry. I've done that. No, but like, you know, when you're getting out of your parking spot and you hit that little
There are certain places
thing.
where it's better to do it than others, like on a roof. Wow. Well, one Metro Detroit foot doctor is taking his passion for helping people to another level.
Dr. Anthony Wienert is working to care for those in need in our area. Evrod Cassimy shows us how he's doing it.
He's known as the Soul Doctor, but Dr. Anthony Wienert is more than just a foot doctor. He's made it his mission to provide Metro Detroit's less fortunate population with brand new shoes.
I really want to help people here in the community.
That's just what Dr. Wienert has set out to do. By day, he's a foot and ankle surgeon out of Troy and Warren. And when he's not working on patients, he's running his nonprofit called Shoe Pantry Plus.
We provide brand new shoes, boots, and socks for the homeless, for veterans, disabled, and low-income men, women, and children in Detroit, Flint, and surrounding communities.
Dr. Wienert knows the importance of a good pair of shoes. His late mother inspired him to start the nonprofit.
She grew up in a family of 15. Sometimes she said she would have to walk to school barefooted.
Since her passing, and for the past year, he's made Shoe Pantry Plus his mission. He collects shoes, even purchasing most of them with his own money, and fits each person in need. The free shoes helped Thelia Hogan walk comfortably again.
He took the time out to care, not only for me, but for everybody. And shoes is important for us.
And while she's not here to see the work he's doing, Dr. Wienert continues to provide free shoes in his mom's honor. How do you think, looking down on you now, how do you think she would feel about the work that you're doing here in Detroit?
She would be very proud of me because she knows that I'm doing what's coming from my heart.
And at the end of March, Dr. Wienert is going into Detroit Public Schools to provide students there with brand new shoes. We posted information on our website. Just go to clickondetroit.com to find out how you can help. In Troy, Evrod Cassimy, Local 4.
Helping Shoe Pantry Plus is simple. Dr. Weinert is looking for brand new shoe donations as well as financial donations. A local high school student from Bloomfield Hills competed in the Junior Iditarod.
17-year-old Hannah Mahoney was born in Florida, moved to Bloomfield Hills, and then I guess just kept going north. She moved to Bloomfield Hills when she was 8. Currently a senior at high school at Oakland Early College, but on Saturday she was in Alaska and finished her first Junior Iditarod. Mahoney says now that she's done the junior race, she wants to race in the real Iditarod sometime in the future.